What's going on, everyone? I'm Encore. This is Tomorrow Never Comes, and today is a very special day because finally, after 6 months, I got Mr. Richard Weals sitting across from me here, and we get to have a chat, a long overdue chat. And Richard here has been a premier home renovator and restoration expert in the UK for over 15 plus years. He has had multiple online businesses that have provided him with different streams of income. He's made 7 figures plus in the crypto markets and learned some heavy lessons along the way. And he's helped many of those around him also become financially free. His mission in life now is to educate everyone on crypto knowledge so that they become financially free as well. Richard, it's a pleasure to have you, man.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Yeah, has it been 6 months? Are you sure? I thought it was about 8. But yeah.
Maybe I don't know. Time has no
Time
now.
flies, buddy. Yeah, it's fantastic to be here as well. Yeah, but this space isn't this space amazing? You know how fast is this space growing? The technology, it's just like unbelievable. You know, you blink an eye, next minute it's a new technology coming out, a new protocol coming out. But I think we're in for some. I'm so excited, to be honest with you, about where all this is going, and I think you just need to be opening your eyes a little bit to it all to make you realize how fast this paradigm shift is coming to us, really.
100%. And so before we get to where it's going, why don't you share? I think you've been in the market since 2017, right? So yeah, maybe okay. Share how you started and how crypto even got onto your radar at that point.
Okay. I'm what you call probably a rare breed. I've always been into personal development and looking at different opportunities to be able to create an income, a passive income. So I originally started online around about early 2010, 11. So I was looking into different ways of being able to earn passive income online. So I was looking at all sorts of stuff. I was creating landing pages, driving traffic, doing the old AdWords. Then that worked to sort of, then I went into affiliate marketing. I did really well in that for a couple of years. Then it all went wrong. This company I was a top affiliate for ended up to be a scam. So that was gone. And then he decided to set up an Amazon business. So we started selling products online in America, FBA, fulfillment by Amazon. So I was creating health products and selling them. That was really good. Then Amazon started changing the rules again. So I started deleting my real reviews. And then it went off to page 1 above the fold. So obviously you lose so much traffic on, when you drop onto page 2 compared to page 1, it's just ridiculous. So the volume went down, and in the end, well, I had a long story short, but I had my domain name stolen, and in the end, it just so much, just seemed too much hassle to carry on. And then I was thinking, what do I do now? So I was looking again, and then crypto was always been around since 2013, but I didn't understand it, and I never really took the plunge into it. I heard about Bitcoin and I just thought it was a bit of a scam, and I'm like thinking, I'm always into being open-minded and looking at different things, and I just still didn't really get it. Then 2017, I watched Bitcoin go from, I think it's around about $300 to around about 800, literally in like 2 or 3 months. And I was like, I'm in. So I took the plunge into crypto, buying my first piece of a Bitcoin. I didn't buy a full Bitcoin. But I just wanted to understand how to buy it. I didn't know how to buy it. I Googled how to buy Bitcoin because it's like an exchange. Okay, well, didn't really know what exchanges to go on. Then I ended up going on this site called Bittylicious. It sounds like a scam site. And that's where I actually bought my first Bitcoin. It was all through a broker, and it was through my bank account. And it was, I bought my first Bitcoin. And then when I bought my Bitcoin, I really immerse myself into learning and understanding what crypto is all about. Then number 2 crypto blue chip is Ethereum. Started looking at Ethereum. Then there was all these altcoins, and I was like, oh my god, this could be huge. And I just really immersed myself into it. Started to buy into ICOs. I was getting all the money I could. I was like thinking, I need some money from there, and I was borrowing money, and I was doing all sorts of things because I knew this was the future. And I just immersed myself into it, buying different ICOs. A lot of them failed because obviously it was pump and dump schemes back then, and it wasn't really regulated as much. And as of now, they have tiers and cliffs on it, so you can't just sell, when the price pumps, which is a good thing. So I lost out on a few there, but I also had some big wins, which had managed me to catapult me to another level. Then I took profits from that and I put into a lot of privacy coins. And then the rest is history, really. I just immersed myself, and then I started to get into startup projects, education, and in investment clubs. This is how we met. Right. So it's been a hell of a journey, but in between that as well, I was trading options as well, Bitcoin and Ethereum options, also stocks, of spot trading as well. Yeah, so it's I've had a bit of a journey. I've had some great wins, but I've also had some big hits as well, and that's part of the game. You've got to be able to stay in it for the long game and really don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's what I would say.
So can you touch on that, the learning lessons that you've had? Because any one of us who've been in crypto for any period of time, or investing in general, you're going to have those hits, right? They're going to happen. And that's, like you said, that's part of the game. So maybe touch on some of the things you learned and how your mentality has changed from those lessons. Okay.
I think number one, you need to have a certain character. I think you can work on that. You need to be fearless. It's 100%. The markets will just grab you and spit you out. They're brutal they are. You need to be fearless. You need to have courage. You need to have courage to put your first trade on. Anyone who says that they get an experience from simulating trading, you can get these simulator accounts, it's just utter rubbish. You can't beat jumping in, taking the bottle of red pills and diving straight in. But I will say, as a caveat to that, only risk really what you can afford to lose. So when I started spot trading, I was doing options, so I learned options. So I knew exactly how much I was going to lose. So if I had a spread, and the spread was say £500, I knew that's how much I'll lose. So I couldn't lose any more than what I put on there. But say I started with 20,000, which I actually did, and when I started trading options, I was willing to risk 20,000. But it's all relative. If I lose a trade on £500, it still hurts. £500. To when I went big on Pirate Chain and I had 4 million in 2 days, but I've also been wiped out 2.5 billion in a day as well. So this is like you're up here, and I'm down there. I think, oh, what's going on here? I'm like, oh my god. But this is part of the journey. But what I would say, really, is, you should have really good risk management. Understand what you're risking, put your stop losses in, and only risk what you can afford to lose. But when I got leveraged out in Nexo, I obviously leveraged. I had a relationship manager, and they kept offering me loans. So I ended up having another loan for another million and another million. And I just thought it was going to see 100,000 Bitcoin like everyone else did in the markets. And then it totally went south on me, and I was trapped in their tokenomics, and I couldn't even sell. I couldn't pay down my loan with the Nexo token because it changed it from an interest token to I think it changed from an interest token to the token is now so it changed the tokenomics of it, so I couldn't use that down to pay down my loan. So it trapped me, and I watched literally 2.5 million get wiped off my account in a day, and it hurts, but it's a big lesson. But ultimately I hedged, so I didn't just have 2.5 million in one account. I had other stuff in other places, startup projects, Bitcoin, Ethereum, privacy coins, so I made sure I was well versed, diversified in different projects, mainly, by the way, in cryptocurrencies, all sorts of cryptocurrencies, rather than, and I've got a little bit of gold and silver, but I believe in it that much. I believe that this is where we're going. So I was willing to back everything on my portfolio in cryptocurrency.
Okay. Yeah, those are some pretty heavy numbers.
Yeah, well, it's relative, because when I lost, well, in fact, this is a story for you. The day I lost 2.5 million, the day I was up 2.5 million, 4 million in Pirate Chain, I lost my first ever options trade on Bitcoin. It was on Bitcoin options, and I lost 5 grand. And you know, the pain of losing that 5 grand killed me, but the pain far outweighs a winning result like 4 million. I don't know why. It's a psychological thing. I was gutted. I lost 5 grand. You know, I know it sounds silly because I didn't want to lose. Nobody likes to lose, do they?
Yeah, it's funny because psychologically we want to avoid the losses.
Of course, yeah.
More than we actually care to win, which is crazy how that kind of works out. So if someone were to come in the game now, because you mentioned 2 different things. You mentioned one is you had 20,000 and you created significant wealth, 7 figures with that. And then you also mentioned being in stocks already and then coming over. For someone who has 0 investing experience, how would you kind of talk them in, which you do? You are a mentor, you are a trainer for those trying to learn crypto or interested. So how do you get people to kind of cross that bridge?
Okay, so number one, I've learned I cannot try and convince somebody to come into crypto. I will never do that. It's about what they want to do and about wanting to take the next step. I can't draw a horse to water and make a drink. So I want somebody to come to me, right? So when somebody comes to me, it's obviously application only. So we'll go through a criteria, we'll fill in a form, we'll have a conversation. And if they want to go to the next level, we say, okay, well, we create a strategy around what's comfortable for them, tailored to their, you know, their what they want, basically. So I would say to them, first, I think they need to understand the volatility. If it's cryptocurrencies, it's a different animal to stocks. Even though the stock market, yeah, it's been volatile lately because of what's going on in the world and the macro things, what are going on with Russia and all the different events. So I would say you need to be understanding the volatility. Don't risk, you know, hedge a little bit. Don't put all your money in. Create an account, start to learn to trade with good risk management skills, just to understand the market, even if it's small amounts. And if they really wanted to jump into cryptocurrencies now, I would say, and they want to do what I've done, I would say, don't do what I've done, because that's higher risk. I would say buy Bitcoin first, understand how it works, understand what it is, what it does, and just understand the fundamentals of it. Bitcoin and Ethereum, the 2 blue chips, they are, for me, it's a no-brainer. Bitcoin is a store of wealth. You know, this is the gold 2.0, whatever you want to call it. If this is like the most robust protocol, a blockchain in the world, you know, it just is pretty much impossible to hack into the main protocol at you know, protocol level. You have to have a 51% attack on that. So that's not going to happen because the bigger it gets, people don't understand the more wallet addresses what are there. It's just going to get stronger and stronger and bigger, you know. So it's here to stay. It's like a juggernaut. You can't stop it. And Ethereum is a number 2, which all the dApps have been built upon. I believe the merge 2.0, Ethereum 2.0 is going to be huge. I really do. And I think go into Bitcoin and Ethereum and then start looking at different alternatives to Bitcoin and Ethereum, like the altcoins, but they're more high risk. So I would be very, very cautious in what they do, because we've all lost certain coins, haven't we? We've seen coins go 95%, even altcoins, even me and you bought altcoins 6 months ago, and they're 95% down from good projects as well. I'm not saying they're going to go away, but yeah, that's a quick way to lose your money if you're just going to dive straight into alts. You've got to know what you're buying. You've got to do your research, get good advice, and, you know, everyone's got different risk profiles. For me, I'm high risk, but I also expect high returns from that, because that's just the way I am. You know, I create you create what you want in life, don't you? By your speaking, you create through speaking. So I'm always speaking about creating this and that for my fuller purpose, which is to give back, create academies, you know, help the unfortunate, whether it's the children in Nepal, whether it's to children in general, you know, sick kids and children, and just dogs owned, anything. I want to help humanity. I want to really help. So I create that in me. Not everyone's like me. Everyone's like their own little worlds and tunnel vision. So I'm like, I want to expand my knowledge every day. So I'm sort of looking at the bigger picture, where most people are too scared. This is where the fear comes in. So if you can be courageous and just cut that fear out, you'll just go in different places, you are your path, the obstacles your path.
And you touch on so many important things. And here's what I see that's missing a lot of times, especially when it comes to YouTubers or just investing in general, is mindset. Everyone talks about numbers and numbers, right? Stop loss, profit taking, all of those are important, but they only come after you have the right mindset. You won't set a stop loss, you won't profit take if you don't have the right mindset. You won't invest if you don't have the right mindset. So what you just touched on right there, I hope anyone who's listening right now really takes that to heart, right? Because if you look at everything based on some bad experiences that you had and you take that forward, you're never going to change the path of your life, right? It'll always be the same because it's always steeped in, well, hey, I invested in this and I lost my money, so I can't invest in something in the future. And you repeat the same patterns over and over. So that to me is so important, what you just said. And I hope people really take away, if there's anything to take away from this interview, I hope it's just that, because the mentality is where everything starts.
Absolutely, Hank, because there's a little story for you. My first ever investment, obviously, it was my house when I was 22. I bought a house, first one out with my mates to buy a house in Great Haywood, nice little village, Stafford. I was so proud of the house. Anyway, it gets to around about 27. My brain's start to think I need to do something. This is when I start to merge into this personal development field and education and just bettering myself as a person. I went to this seminar, Inside Track, I should have said sucked in. I was probably naive then a bit because we're young, aren't we? And basically I went to a seminar. I bought this Inside Track property off plan, literally overnight. My missus, my ex-missus actually now, said, "Are you sure you want to do this?" She says, yeah. I remortgaged the house I bought, but it got up, it doubled in value at that time. So I took 70,000 out of it, put into a deposit for this property in Florida off plan. Thought brilliant. It started to go up, and everyone was like dead quiet, didn't want to talk to me because I thought I was making money. Oh my God, Rich making money, and people get really jealous. It's really weird. Fell out with a few people, only little things. And I was like, well, I'm having a go in life. Sure, why put me down? Because it's like people try and drag you back, don't they? As you know. Then all of a sudden, big crash comes, boom. I lost the property. Developer got it, the whole development got repossessed, and the banks would have brought it. Then I lost a whole lot of money. I lost 70 grand. Then you know what they said? I can't believe you did that. I knew that would happen. Okay, thanks a lot. But that's my first investment, and I thought, okay, well, it's not the end of the world, is it? Still breathing. Got a good business. Very creative. I'm a chippy by trade, carpenter. I've got my own renovation company, so I create beautiful homes. Just crack on, build again, crack on. Learn by that. Buying off plan is risky, but remember that was like that was we like not as worse a situation it was like now really, but it was a massive crash. It was in the 2007, 2008. The Lehman Brothers went down. So holy crap, it's like Terra Luna going down, lose $45 billion company. Well, look, Celsius, the Three Arrows, we're in the midst of a crisis here, aren't we? I'm doing it again. I'm investing again. This is the time to buy. Don't be scared. I got caught out in the trap, basically. It's like a bull trap, really, isn't it? Get me to invest high level. I was paid sky high prices. Then obviously market dump, and the mortgage wanted to pull the money back, and they didn't have enough money, so they repossessed all the development. But that for me was crucial in my learnings, because that really gave me the impetus to say, fuck this, I'm going again. I ain't giving up because somebody's told me I can't do it. Do you own me? I'm thinking, I'm me. We're all unique. We should all have our own vision, all have our own uniqueness. We're all authentic. Go out and just create. Go and do it. Don't let somebody tell you that you can't do anything, because you can do what you want to do. Simple.
Absolutely. And we've seen that time and time again, even through the London Real Academy, right? Where you and I met. Those who have a different mindset, and then those who actually push on and kind of push outside of their comfort zone, and where that takes you, right? So we've seen that. And for anyone watching now, I've learned so much from Rich, because Rich pulls the trigger. I mean, when he talks about he is willing to put his money where his mouth is, one of the few that I have seen who will actually do that. That doesn't mean he just pulls the trigger on anything. I mean, he does the work, he understands what he's investing in. But at the end of the day, when you invest, you are putting your money in somebody else's hands. So you can do all the research you like. At the end of the day, there's always going to be a risk attached to it, right? So that you've taught me. So I want to share that the fact that once you've made a decision, you pull the trigger and that's it. You move on to the next one, right? So
yeah,
thank you.
absolutely. You've got to speculate to accumulate. Yeah, I've got a little task for you to do here. A little example. People don't see the money, do they? They don't see it. They don't see the fruitfulness of what you're doing. So if you grab a piece of paper, so put a dot
Okay.
and a pound sign or a dollar sign, look 6 inches apart roughly. Dot on the left, your paper.
All right.
And the pound sign. So, right. So you got that.
All right.
This should be an example. So okay, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So put your hand over your left eye.
Okay.
Yeah. Now put it in front of you like that. Look.
All right.
Close right. Sorry. Then put your hand over your left eye. Then sorry, right eye.
Okay.
Then just keep your eye on the dot. Sorry, it's the left eye. So keep your eye on the dot.
Okay.
So the pound or the dollar sign will disappear when it's at certain places. Everyone's different. So close your left eye and look at the dot. And as you bring it in, or whatever the focus is, you won't see the pound sign. So that's just an example of how you can't see the money. It's a bit of a metaphor. Can you see it? You got to try it.
Yeah. Okay.
So you got to concentrate on the dot.
Yeah.
And it appears.
Right. Yeah.
Can you see? So
I did. Yeah. No, I did.
An amazing metaphor how people don't see the money, because they're scared. And that's just like an example of you've got to open your eyes. Keep looking, keep searching. Don't give in because something goes wrong. Because everything goes wrong, it's no perfect straight line. It's like you're up and down. But don't you really think this is a journey? Don't you think it's exciting? What's the worst that can happen? Tell me, Hank, what's the worst that can happen? Tell me.
You lose your money.
Oh, so fucking what? You got your health, haven't you? Yeah. You got this.
Yeah.
Education.
I hear you. But let's go to, okay, so Bitcoin and ETH are the blue chips, right? We're safe there. Would you advise anybody right now to go outside of that? Let's say I'm just starting out. I'm just trying to find my way.
I would, but it depends who you're listening to. Like you can come into our investment club. You can do online courses. A lot of them are.
I'm listening to you right now. I'm listening to you. So what would you suggest for anyone if they have the risk tolerance to go outside of Bitcoin and ETH? And if yes, give me your top 3.
Okay. I would probably say 100%. Yeah. Bitcoin and ETH. And if it was any other coins, I would say that's it. I'm just trying to, there's a few, which I love the sandbox because I understand where the metaverse is going. It's going to be huge. And I've got Snoop Dogg myself, and I've got some land in the sandbox. A good friend of ours, Andrew Haynes, has been teaching us how to use the sandbox and go into it. So yeah, I love that. I think the technology is still nowhere near. We're in Alpha 2 now, I think, coming. I think that's going to be huge. So I think the sandbox and the prices, what they are now, are really good. I think $1.30. So that's number one. Definitely sandbox. I would say Illuvium as well, because that's still to do with NFTs and it's gaming, AAA gaming. I think Illuvium is going to be big, a little bit different, a little bit more complex than a sandbox. And yeah, but I'll actually add to more than 3 actually. Then I'll go into privacy coins, because I think privacy is something which is nobody really understands it yet. Nobody understands the need for privacy. Everyone just giving the data away so fast and easy, aren't they? Just I don't care. But eventually people will be thinking, no, I need to really secure, because privacy is true fungibility, basically. So I'll go for something like Pirate Chain. I'll go for Monero and Dero as well. So it's more than 3, 5 or 6, and Equilibria as well. So yeah, that's the ones I go for, because I think we're looking in, depends what your strategy is as well, for whether it's midterm, long term, or even short term trading. For me, I'm more mid to long term, so that's what I would advise on. I think there's a lot of space, a lot of room with the sandbox. That's going to be huge. Illuvium is going to be huge as well. And I think going into privacy, yeah, it might be a long wait, but I think your money's going to be safe. That's always going to be a need for privacy.
Okay, you mentioned privacy coins before for me. So is that the trend that you see going forward? Are there any other trends that you see over the next, 5-10 years?
Yeah, the trend for me is 100%. I believe in, if I can put anything out there now and say what I believe is going to happen, I'm all for privacy, because I understand what's going on out there. Pirate chain, I would say, if it's the ticker symbols R. So if you haven't heard of pirate chain, I would recommend it's really cheap. It's been up to $60.50 in its prime. And it topped out around about that before we had this big pullback, and it's running around about, I think about 55 cents, I think, something stupid like that now. But I would get a small bag of that. It doesn't have to be much, but this could be huge. $1,000, $2,000 a coin quite easily. Monero still is huge. For me, it's different technology, that they're both slightly different. Like, and Monero uses ring signatures to shuffle the addresses, whereas Pirate Chain uses zero knowledge proof, which is basically, if I send a coin to you, it goes into the ethos, and it's only the sender and the receiver knows who's got the coin. So it's slightly different, but the technology, Pirate Chain has got the best tech out of the two. Dero's the Ethereum killer, and Equilibria for smart contracts, all private. So I would say, yeah, they're definitely the four. But privacy is going to be huge, and all of a sudden it'd be like a stampede. It was like everyone's buying privacy coins, because privacy coins, it's true fungibility. A Bitcoin, right? Just put this for instance, a Bitcoin, you can mark a Bitcoin, you can blacklist it. It's on an open ledger. You know what I'm saying, Hank? It's on an open ledger, so you can see where that Bitcoin's. You can actually track that Bitcoin back from when it's been mined, should I say. So, and you can see all the addresses where that whole history, price history, or sorry, not price, that whole history, where that Bitcoin's been in the blockchain, everything. And they can say, well, okay, we believe that Bitcoin's gone to an illicit site, so we're going to blacklist that, talk to the exchange, and blacklist it. So that's not true fungibility, is it? Because they can blacklist it. True fungibility is something like Pirate Chain and Monero.
Okay.
Because that's real money. Because one unit is worth one unit. You can never blacklist it. You can't see it on a ledger, can you? So it's like, right, if I send one Pirate Chain to you, you've got a Pirate Chain, that's always worth one Pirate Chain. If I send one Bitcoin to you, then they decide to blacklist that Bitcoin because they think it's come from an illicit site, and but Bitcoin's worthless. So you got to bear this in mind, and it's happening now. Is Bitcoin's being blacklisted all the time, and you don't hear about it, but there is. So that isn't true fungibility. The technology is superb. We think Satoshi meant to have created Bitcoin with this with this privacy aspect of it, but it never happened. But Bitcoin's fantastic. The setup of it, true decentralization, permissionless peer-to-peer. You can pay somebody in Argentina, just a boom like that, where they can't get a bank account, or South Africa, or wherever Africa. It's brilliant. But ultimately, I think it will come back to bite Bitcoin owners, holders, in 10, 20 years time down the line, when Monero really will, when we have a need for privacy and, true decentralization as it is.
Right. No, that's very fascinating. That's actually very interesting about privacy coins, something that I personally have not really got into as of yet. So definitely something for me to check out. But in terms of trends then, I know you're an NFT advisor, right? What are your thoughts on NFTs? A lot of people will say, well, they're just JPEGs, they're just right-click, save as, what's the big deal? Can you touch on your thoughts about NFTs, where you think they're going to go over the next 5 to 10 years, and how important will they be, if at all?
Yeah, I think with NFTs, for a start, NFTs doesn't sound very good, does it? It needs a rebrand. It needs something to be able to get that. Well, what's an NFT? The word NFT, people are sick of hearing the word NFT. So NFT, obviously, it's non-fungible token. It means it's only going to be one of a specific token. And yeah, it's how you perceive what an NFT is, I suppose. We can create multiple projects, we can multiple NFTs to create a utility. So we can have like a membership site. We can use NFTs to create membership tiers, anything like that. But I think it just cuts out a lot of the other stuff, doesn't it? It's like NFTs are just going to be huge in the way that it just brings utility. Simple as that, in many different ways for artists, business owners, to create communities, and they're going to be using NFTs to be able to drive products, and everything's going to be tokenized, isn't it? That's my view anyway. And I think the NFT space has got a lot of headway, but we've seen a massive pump, but now we're on a bit of a decline because of the markets, and people think, oh, NFTs here to stay. NFTs will be here to stay, because it's a smart contract basically, and you're the unique owner of that smart contract. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely, yeah. Well, that's the thing. People don't understand what's under the hood, right?
Yeah, it's not like a picture where you can just share a JPEG, and it's actually ultimately an NFT is a smart contract which you own in your wallet, whether it's MetaMask and Terra, whatever wallet you're in. It's a smart contract.
Yeah, one of the greatest things for me is that the community that's built around the NFT. And that's what people don't see. You just see, well, a certain ape was sold for, a couple 100,000 or CryptoPunk, and people are just like, there's no utility there. You just bought art, but there's so much more beyond that if you're not in this space, and that goes for anything, right? Even crypto or even stock investing or real estate. If all you do is read headlines, you don't know anything about the actual sector, right? No. And you can always make a very easy opinion based on nothing, which is what I see all the time.
Well, people say to me, what's the use of that? Well, it just, for a start, it's cutting all the middlemen out as well. At the end of the day, you don't need middlemen sometimes for things, and you can streamline things, can't you? You can create competitions, contests. You can do so much. You can create so many different things with NFTs. You can, like, say you can create like Rolex. You can have this stamp of approval. You can have a signature or a certificate buying a Rolex through an NFT. You can say, well, it's the only one, it's unique, and it's so many different ways you can use NFTs to be able to grow. And it's not just about communities, is it? It's communities was the driver of it, but it's everything else. But communities is huge. You can just grow it and just take it to whatever level you want, really. And it's all subjective, isn't it, as well?
Absolutely. Well, what's great about these communities is you also get people who become founders in certain projects, right? So whether they be NFT projects or outside of that, DeFi, gaming, whatever the case may be, do you think every single person should get into private investments, meaning you're in early on a startup project within the crypto space, or is that something for more seasoned investors?
Well, okay. I want to help people get into crypto. Sorry, I'll take that back. Last year, I wanted to be thinking, I need to help people get into crypto. But then I got to the point where I was like trying to justify and convince why they should be in crypto. And that isn't what I want to do. Because, it's like, okay, they're not willing to put the work in. They're not willing to do the research. They want me to give them all the answers. I'm like, well, you need to put some work in yourself. You need to come to me and ask me good questions. You need to be looking at it yourself. You need to be saying, Rich, what about this? What about that? I can't do that for you. It only comes from experience. So I started that way, wanting to help the startups that people want to get into crypto. Then I'm thinking, well, I'm actually connecting with founders. I've got JVs with and contracts with blockchain startups.
Just so people don't understand, JVs is joint venture.
Yeah,
like a partnership.
sorry, yeah, joint partnerships, strategic partnerships with companies, because I can add value to them. So I'm looking at now really honing in, dialing in on a higher level, working with these projects to try and take them to another level. So that could be bring in collaboration, strategic partnerships, creating NFT marketplaces for them, and just basically just helping them and advising with these projects. So it's not to say I won't be helping people come along on the journey into crypto, but they have to do the work themselves to be able to get to a level to say, I understand it a little bit, to be able to have a dabble. If somebody's not willing to put £100 or £200 or something and moan about losing it, it's not really for them. You know, you've got to be willing to step outside the box. You've got to be willing to put the work in. You've got to be willing to sacrifice a little bit of time instead of watching the telly. A bit of advice, I'll turn the telly off. The telly's full of rubbish. The narrative is what they want to put out there at any given moment, which is rubbish. It's all lies. They won't even watch the telly. So if they put that time into understanding crypto, and then they come, okay, Rich, I get it a bit now. Then, oh my God, they're going to be on another level. We can get them earning 200% on the money in a year, you know, whatever it is. There's so many different strategies, but they've got to be willing to get to that level first. I'm not going to give them on a silver platter. They have to be willing to put the work in, or else I'm not interested. I want somebody who's willing to work.
Yeah, and that goes back again to mindset, right? We spoke about that right at the beginning, that if you don't have the mindset to do things that are uncomfortable, that doesn't mean you invest to the point where if it goes to zero, you are homeless, right? Absolutely, you're not putting yourself out there. But what I always found funny was the comment of, only invest what you are okay to lose. And I've said that so many times myself. We are not okay with losing anything.
Of course you know.
$10, $100, like nobody's okay with losing a dime, let alone $1,000 or $5,000. But you understand that in order to change your current path, we know what default is, right, Rich? Default is doing what you do now, right? And most of us, before or now, go to work, come home, paycheck to paycheck, right? The only way to break that is through investing. And for me, the stock market and real estate both take a lot of money to invest first in order to make a lot of money after. So if you don't have that capital, how can you make a significant amount that's going to change your life? To me, that's where crypto is. You are able to take those asymmetric bets where a small amount can give you 1,000% return, 10,000% return. Not all of them, but some of them can happen. That can change your life, which you are a testament to, right? You took 20,000, you got into the 7 figures, and now you play at a different level. That's what I see for everybody. So for you, unless someone does the work, that's great. But why do you want to teach people about crypto?
I'm passionate because I know where this place is going. You know, I've immersed myself into this out for. I was looking at it before 2017, really, trading, but really into crypto itself, 2017 to now, and I'm loving the journey. I've collaborated. I've made so many. I've got so many friends, acquaintances now in the crypto space. It's unbelievable. This will change your life if you're willing to think outside the box and just push forward. Just set yourself a goal or however you want to put it. Create in your head what you want. It's pointless just thinking about it and not acting on it. You've got to talk through, you create through talking, through speaking, speak about it. It's different to affirmations. Affirmations don't work. So you're trying to convince yourself that you can do something. You've got to create through speaking and then bring this to reality. You still got the non-useful judgments out there, the stuff we think we're not good at. Yeah, bring them with you because it's good. You can't just part that. So they'll always come back and haunt you. So bring them with you, but create through speaking. Speak it out what you want. Speak out what you want. So if I'm going to be the best crypto trader and educator, I'll be saying like, I declare that I am the most powerful and impactful crypto educator and trainer on the planet, making a difference one by one. That sort of thing, and believe it, say it, then whatever else you want to say, keep saying it, keep repeating it. So if you want to become financially free, then you have to think of something, sentence stem, to be able to say that I will become financially free by X amount of date. And this is how I'm going to do it. Create your own, but you got to speak to create. You can't just think, I'm going to do that. It's not like an affirmation, like you've looked at The Secret or you've gone to these wacky, watch the guy who does all this motivational stuff, Tony Robbins event, and I go, oh, we're amazing. Then you get home and you have this like sugar rush, and you have this like, I feel knackered. Then nothing happens. You've got to think about it daily, every day, make it your life, create it, and then you'll move mountains. Trust me, you will. So if you're going to do that, create through speaking, and you will go to the moon.
Love it.
Trust me.
I love it. I love it.
Go to the moon, and
you know,
honestly,
you don't have to convince me. You got me. You already convinced me 8 months ago.
I don't have to convince anyone, so I'm not here to convince anyone. You know that.
Absolutely.
This is why I only work with people who are already at a certain level, because they just need a nudge. Some people, the right direction. I can give you 10 strategies to earn money now online. Simple strategies, but they won't do it because they're scared. And when you're scared, it suppresses you. Then when you're suppressed, you start thinking of negative thoughts. What if this happens? What if that happens? When you think like that, your whole body language goes down. You're suppressing yourself, you're trapping yourself in the world of, then you get all that, then they turn the telly on, watch the news. Oh my God, can't do it now. You know what I'm saying? So if you think differently, create through speaking, turn the telly off, start educating yourself, look for the right people. Your information diet's so important as well. The information diet means who you listen to, what education you have, and why you're doing it. What is education for? We can't know everything. Go in your direction. If it's crypto, make sure it's crypto related. Don't jump around, don't start selling on Amazon and think I'm going to do some crypto. Be more direct, with what you want to do. Have a bit of a goal where you want to be with it. If you want to have 2 or 3 passive income streams by the end of the year, focus on crypto and finding somebody who's going to help you earn passive income. It's simple as that. And it is simple as that.
100%. It actually is simple. It's not easy. It's not easy to do, but it is simple.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not easy to do, because the only thing what's stopping you is your brain.
Right. And you mentioned being around the right people. So can you touch on that? Because what's the common phrase is that your net worth equals your network.
Yeah.
So can you touch on that? Why it's important to have that?
Yeah. Well, it's important. I've grown my network over the years, and I used to, another story for you. When I got into property, but I'll take you back a bit more actually. When I was 30, I went on this mad phase where I had a thirst for knowledge. So I went to a boot camp. I was thinking about it. All of a sudden, I had this thing through the door, like a little flyer. It was a letter from one of the subscribers. Andrew Reynolds it was, and it was a boot camp in Brighton, England, UK. And I thought, I've got to go there. It's how to make money online. And I thought, just weird. I was thinking about it. So what's that all about? What you think about, you get, don't you? So I opened this thing. I thought, I'll go there. Driving down Brighton, took the missus and the little baby was only 6 months. And Madison, I was on the beach, and obviously with the kids and stuff. And I went to the boot camp. Debbie had the chat, little one, just walking around Brighton, just enjoying herself while I was in this boot camp. I ended up buying literally about 30 grand's worth of stuff. I wanted to learn everything. I did property courses, I did marketing courses, I did PR courses, I did Dan Kennedy marketing stuff, I did Ted Nicholas copywriting, I did just everything. Crypto wasn't about them, was it? And that was it. And that was the start of my real education. So, and then I started to build my network. I started to drive to property events in Birmingham on my own in the snow, and an old clapped out banger. I just kept going. So I wanted to understand how to buy property, and I didn't understand how to buy property for £1. People were saying to me, why are you driving there for? What? I said, I don't know, I just want to understand how to buy property. And everyone was get to the events, and people will say, how many properties you got? I'm thinking, God, a bit pompous these are, but I stuck with it. And one day this guy came up to me, he said, my name's Paul. And I said, I'm Rich. And I said to him, I suppose you're going to tell me how many properties you got. He says, no, it doesn't matter how many properties you got. He says, what do you want? What do you want to do? And I told him anyway. I ended up doing a deal with Paul. He got my first property with him, and we went on to do a lot of work together. I ended up getting 7 properties in that year, JVs, by connecting with people. And I had no money, so I split up with my partner a year before. And And yeah, I had no money, so I had to find a way how to create, and through thinking again, through speaking. So I went to these events, I started to get JV partners, and I got 7 properties in my first year through JV partners. So that proves that you can do it with no money. You just need the right attitude to go out and do it. And that's how I built my network. So I've still talked to these people to this day. And a big shout out to Simon Zuch, who really, really got me into the property course. I was an MM6, and he taught me the way. You know, within 12 months, I got 7 properties with no money using JV partners. And then that catapulted me to think, okay, success breeds success. I can do it again. And I did it in other ways. I created online businesses. I borrowed money to be able to give them an interest payment back. You know what I'm saying? So I was thinking of all these creative ways how to do it. Then, yeah, that's how you got to go. That's how you got to go sometimes. You know, you got to be creative in your thinking. Then you build your network. And then I can just call anyone up now from the property, from internet stuff. You know, I've got experts in different fields. And it's amazing to be able to have that, even from a construction. So I'm a carpenter by trade, you know, create beautiful homes, listed building heritage, barn conversions. So yeah, it's been a journey, but an absolutely inspirational journey. And I've loved every minute of it. I will never take back or time again and try and do something differently, because I understand the value of failing, getting things wrong, and just goddamn hard work as well. You know, it's awesome.
I love the story, because a lot of people think that if you're in crypto, you're 20, 25 years old, or you've been in finance before. Like, there's always a reason not to be in crypto, right? You always think you're either too old or you're too young, or I don't understand finances, so none of this stuff makes any sense about yield and all that kind of stuff. But you showing that you are a carpenter, or you are, but you've transitioned into the space. Myself, being in healthcare for 15 plus years with no financial literacy, or very, very limited, now being in this space. And actually, crypto has taught me more about finances than anything else in my life before. So what I want, this is what my channel is about. And I know you have your own channel as well, right? So can you touch on why you made your channel and what you hope to do with that?
Yeah, I made my channel because I wanted to try and inspire.
What's it called? Let everyone know what it's called.
It's called Learn, Trade, Transform. And that's the 3 pillars to where I'm going with this, because I want to create an academy. So it's about learning, understanding. Then you need to trade. We trade everything in life, whether it's time, money, trading. So I thought that's a great analogy for all the things we trade in life, friends, whatever you call it. But then it's for transformation, because we all want to transform. I'm expanding my knowledge every day, and I'm trying to impact as many people as I can, with giving my heart and soul to people. It's not always about money. I give time to people I love, you know, and I love people, so I want to give everything. So it's Learn, Trade, Transform, because it goes to taking them on a journey of transformation. And you know, and I've got 3 pillars to that, and I will be creating a course on that as well alone. So my channel is called Learn, Trade, Transform, and I just want to inspire and educate as many people as I can use blockchain technology, because this is the future. This is where we're going with it, and I'm just looking forward to, yeah, just helping people.
Love it, love it. And I'm going to ask you one final question here. So you pretend that I am someone who I've made the mindset up that I want to be in crypto. I'm willing to do the work. What do I do? And let me back up that question, because a lot of people say do your own research, right? That's the biggest thing, but no one ever says how, right? They just say do your own research, and information diet, like we understand, is very important. So now you speak to me. What are the next steps for someone who is I'm ready to jump in? Okay. I just don't know how.
Okay, so this is what I do. So I give them an application form or form, so I can find out a little bit more about them. We obviously have a conversation. They still fill out this form, and it tells me a bit about them. And I'll say to them, okay, I'll test the mindset, because it's really crucial for me to work with anyone. If they've got if they're worried about losing £5, then I'm sorry, we're not going to be a match, you know. And if they, well, you know, so it's about creating through speaking. I find out exactly where they are, where they're at, what they're like, where they are in the personal development journey. I've invested before, you know, and all that stuff. So if they're totally new to it, then I'll be saying, are you willing to, you know, go full out? Are you willing to go all in? They've got 10 grand, say, set aside. Are you willing to lose that 10 grand? Are you willing to go all out, all in on learning, immersing yourself and educating yourself and listening? There's nothing worse when you try and help people when they don't listen and do the work, because it's frustrating. Are you going to go full out? Then if it's yes, then it's like, okay, well, we can go full out. If it's not with me, I'll be saying, I'll be trying to direct them into, I can send them to Brian Rose, somewhere like that, you know, the DeFi Academy, where I know this is a top bloke, you know. And yeah, I wouldn't really recommend anyone else, because I just wouldn't, you know. I would say I'll go with people I know. I'll do the application, do the interview. If they're going to go all out, then great, but they need to be looking at someone like Brian Rose from London Real to be able to, the DeFi Academy to start. So that really takes you through a really a great process in understanding from the start, really, from like basic trading to risk management.
Perfect. And I'm going to add one on. I know I said the last question, but I'm going to add one on for you. What's the biggest takeaway you've had from being in crypto?
Oh my God, the biggest takeaway is like, it's life changing. It's life changing. It's huge. It connects you globally to people I never would have been connected to. I've got, you know, I've friends in South Africa, VCs in Singapore, companies, blockchain startups in America, Australia, connecting global. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. I'll never have met these people otherwise. These people who are amazing people, love them to bits. And it just connects everyone together. It creates this massive, it's a community. It's a way of being, you know. It's like, this is like change. It's going to change humanity forever. This is the way forward.
I couldn't agree more. We wouldn't be having this conversation if it wasn't for meeting.
Exactly. Look at me. You're in Canada, mate. I'm in UK. We're best buddies. You know, it's like, where can you connect with somebody like this? It's very rare that, you know, this. I know we can have interviews, but we got a connection. We got lots in common, and it makes you realize that we've got more in common than what you actually think. You know, when it's about connecting with people, giving everything you can to people, helping create a difference. It's not just about you. The money's immaterial, really. You know, you sort of live, but it's about making a difference. If we can make a difference, one person, one by one, one at a time, one person. That's all we need. It doesn't have to be, you know, if I get 30 people in the room and I make a difference to one of those people in that room, that'll do me. Heart and soul, passion. Yeah. That's why
I love it. And that's why we connect, my friend. That's why we connect. I'm going to leave all the links for Learn, Trade, Transform, and any of the information that anyone needs to kind of get a hold of Rich. Man, it's been a pleasure. I could talk to you for hours on end. So maybe we'll save some of that for episodes in the future. But it's been a great pleasure. I'm so happy we were able to do this. Thanks for your time, man. And let's chat again.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Anchor. Take care, buddy. And I'll catch you soon. See you, bud.
All right. Take care, man.
Take care. Bye.